So equality, right? It was something that was controversial 60 years ago, and today it seems as though it's controversial again. And why is that? Well, it's because for the last several years now, we, as a society, or at least certain people in our society, have decided to set their sights on equity instead. And make no mistake, equity is the antithesis of equality. Right? Because equality seeks to ensure that everyone have access to the same general opportunities, but equity seeks to ensure that everyone have access to the same outcomes, right? Equality demands that we not factor in things like race, things like gender, things like age when distributing those opportunities. But equity demands that we absolutely take into account race, gender, age, and all other immutable characteristics in order to distribute those opportunities so that it can achieve an equality of outcome. But that isn't really equality at all, is it? Right? Because if there are, say, a disproportionate number of African Americans currently incarcerated right now, equity would demand that we stop prosecuting black criminals for committing crimes. Right? If there are a disproportionate number of Asian Americans in this country who are achieving academic excellence, equity demands that colleges reject their applications so that others might take their place. Right? Equity plays a cold and calculating game that just reduces people into faceless members of their groups. But equality? Equality demands that we not judge a person based on the color of their skin, but rather on the content of their character, as Martin Luther King Jr. liked to say. Right? Equality demands that we treat everyone fairly and, again, afford them the same basic opportunities as everybody else. Right? It's equality that allows the poor child growing up in Appalachia to still be able to go to school and have the opportunity to work hard there, to bust his butt, to educate himself, to do well, to graduate with honors, and to move on to better things on down the road in college or a career, etc. The same opportunity that's afforded to a child growing up in New York in a middle-class family, right? Now, equality doesn't guarantee that anyone's going to achieve greatness, right? But it does guarantee that everyone has the ability to choose greatness, to choose overcoming adversity, to choose being all that they can be. Right? Because whether we want to admit it or not, everything in this life comes down to a simple choice. Things like fulfillment, things like happiness, things like greatness. These are all choices. And they are choices that only you as an individual can make for yourself. That is something that the Founding Fathers knew and believed very well. That's why they lined it out. And all of those precious documents that form the foundation of this country. Right? And granted, it did take a little while for those promises and those ideals to be fully realized, but they have been realized now. And that is why even today, people from all over the globe still flock to the US. They want to come here, legally and illegally, mind you, but they want to come here. Why? Because they know, and they want a taste of a life and a land where you are ensured the ability to choose greatness, to choose putting in the hard work, to choose making the sacrifices, to choose overcoming everything and giving life all that you've got, and to have the freedom to be able to reap the rewards of that hard work. They want that because America is a beacon to the world, and one of the many things that helps light that beacon is equality. And it's something that has echoed all throughout the history of this country. And it's a term that's been immortalized, thanks in no small part to a very, granted flawed, but still a very great man who gave a simple speech titled, "I Have a Dream." And I think it's a dream we should all try getting back to sharing. Don't you?